being decimated? Oh, cry me a little baby river. I voted for you to keep your motherfucking farm. I screamed on the internet to every farmer in America that would listen, please don't vote for him because you're going to lose your farm. Guess what? I love being fucking right. And I hate that you're losing your farm, but I voted for you to keep your farm. And you voted for you to give your farm to the federal fucking government, AKA JD Vance's real estate company, who's just coming in and scooping up all those bankrupted farms. So no, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because right now, if there was an election tomorrow, these would be signing their foreclosure paperwork at the same time, voting for him again. So I don't give a fuck. What is about to happen to American grocery stores in the next 3 to 6 months? We are all gonna fucking suffer. We are all going to pay the price for your vote. So no, I'm not happy that the grocery stores are gonna be pretty bare and the prices are going to be pretty fucking high. But if the price was to pay for you to fucking wake up and realize that this goddamn regime is the reason that you've lost everything, your home, your equipment, your farm, your job, your livelihood, your life, you gave that to Donald Trump and J.
Well, like we talked earlier, we went from 12 billion to zero. And then, as a farmer, we get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. They're the largest exporters of soybean meal in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition. And then the Chinese buy, I think the figure is 30 or 40 containers, ships, which is about 65,000 metric tons per ship, which is like 2.2 million bushels. So they buy 12 or 14 billion dollars worth of soybeans from the Argentinians after the tax holiday. And here's the caveat to it. They give $2.30 over the November board, while I'm getting 50 cents under the November board. So that makes the Argentinian soybeans about $12.42 a bushel. I think that's the real figure they gave. So all my premium went.
Scott, I just lost you there at the end. You said your premiums go?
They all went to Argentina.
Okay, am I understanding this correctly? China used to buy over 60% of soybeans from American farmers. And then Trump said, yeah, we're going to put 100% tariffs on those, China. And China was like, whatever, we're going to go over here to Argentina and buy soybeans from Argentina. And Argentina's like, oh, hell yeah, come on, China. Buy as much soybeans as you want from us. We got you. Meanwhile, because of that, farmers are losing money, they're losing their farms, they're committing suicide. It's really bad. American farmers are suffering really bad right now, which in turn, American people are suffering. So then Argentina says, oh shit, we're kind of struggling. We don't have a lot of money to make this happen. And so Trump's administration says, yeah, you know what? We do have billions of dollars of taxpayer money sitting here. Let us give you billions of dollars to grow your soybeans to sell to China. Woo! Woohoo! Woo! Eeh. Make America great again. By the way, if you want all the finer details of who's involved in all that decision making and why that's happening, go to Kelly of Indiana. Go to her TikTok page.
Look, he ran on America First, right? I need someone to explain this to me. What did we go through the whole Doge and wasteful spending and waste, fraud, and abuse cutting if we're just going to go ahead and give 20 billion US dollars to Argentina? So this is from Heather Cox Richardson's Facebook page. The administration officials are making sure the shutdown that has put Americans out of work doesn't affect their own priorities. They have prioritized a $20 billion bailout of Argentina's failed economy as essential. So it will proceed. The bailout will help right-wing leader Javier Milei, a Trump ally. what the fuck happened to America first. But it gets worse because soybean farmers in America, right? You guys, you voted overwhelmingly for this man, and then he slaps tariffs, and China has pulled out from buying soybeans from your farms, and now your farms are at risk of closing. But to add insult to injury, Argentina's soy exports to China have soared. So he's giving a $20 billion bailout to the country that stole your business. You guys, look, we may be the evil liberal left, but we warned you that the tariffs would have overwhelmingly drastic and devastating consequences to everyone, including farmers. If you think I'm full of shit, I have extended family members who have farms that were hurt the first time during the tariffs, during his first administration. And yet you guys still ran back to him. And now he is giving a $20 billion bailout. America first. That's what they kept saying. Make America great again. Apparently, it wasn't make America great again. It was make Argentina great again. And nothing against the Argentinian people. I have friends who are Argentinian. It is not their fault. But they also voted this idiot of a man in who gave Elon Musk a golden chainsaw to ruin our government. And then this man is going to turn around with his complicit Congress and give $20 billion of American taxpayer money to this country. Meanwhile, children in America are starving in red states and blue states because 38 million Americans are at or below the poverty line. Are you guys going to admit you were wrong? I'm waiting. And look, I am not a Democrat. You can't paint me with that. I live in New Zealand. I'm an American living in New Zealand. I moved here because we have at least somewhat of a more egalitarian government and society where we have paid maternity leave, guaranteed health care for everyone, 20 free daycare hours for kids 3 to 5 years old, 4 weeks guaranteed paid vacation. America apparently is broke, but they're giving $20 billion to Argentina. Your tax dollars going to another country. And I'm not saying that the Democrats aren't partially to blame for when they give other countries money, but you cut USAID and then you give $20 billion.
So the Trump administration gives Argentina $20 billion in aid. And what do? They turn around and start selling soybeans to China. This is the type of Trump cronyism you get with Trump spending and wasting taxpayer dollars. Share your thoughts below and follow me for more.
North Dakota is begging. Farmers in North Dakota are begging for help with soybeans. If you did not know, North Dakota sells 70% of soybeans to China, but wait, it gets worse. We are giving Argentina $20 billion. And then guess what? They effed us. They turned around and they canceled their export tax to China and they sold their soybeans. Also, China has bought soybeans from Brazil, Argentina, and they have multiple year deals. We have sold $0 of soybeans to China from North Dakota or any other state. Yes, North Dakota voted for Trump, not once, not twice, but 3 times. They are begging for help. We are giving another country $20 billion, and we stole lunches from kids. We stole cancer research from kids. We are stealing health care from American citizens who actually pay taxes. And we are giving almost $5 trillion of tax cuts to billionaires over the next 10 years. So when you think, oh, I don't want to pay for your health insurance, that's not what you're doing. What you're doing is giving money to other things and other countries instead of the people living here. I pay taxes as well, and I get a right to choose where and how my taxes are used. It should be America first. People first. Children first. Do you agree? Drop your comments below.
Hey Mainers, President Trump is giving a $20 billion bailout to Argentina. There's at least 3 reasons this is kind of a staggering piece of news, and the third is the toughest to swallow. First, because a $20 billion bailout of another country is the opposite of President Trump's America First philosophy. Second, because President Trump's Treasury Secretary has said openly that the bailout is because Argentina's president, who is an ally of President Trump's, needs a, quote, bridge to the election. His economy is falling apart and his party was just crushed in local elections, so the president's own re-election prospects are in trouble. So President Trump is openly giving Argentina $20 billion of our tax dollars to help his friend win re-election. And somehow that's not even the most startling part of this. The third reason this is staggering is because President Trump's trade war has resulted in China no longer purchasing American soybeans. Literally, China hasn't purchased a single soybean from the US in the last 2 months and has not placed a single order for US soybeans for the coming peak harvest season. Of the $24.5 billion worth of soybeans that the US farmers exported last year, China bought more than half of them, $12.5 billion worth. This is killing US farms, and farmers are feeling panicked and betrayed.
Mr. Trump, you looked at me, sir, and you said, I love you. Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruit of your love. I just would like to see somebody help us get our markets back. We need our exports, and we just need to be paid for what we do.
But guess who is selling soybeans to China? Argentina. The 3 biggest soybean producers in the world are the US, Brazil, and Argentina. And last week, Argentina's President Trump's ally, slashed its export tax on soybeans to 0. He's taking advantage of China shutting out American soybeans and making it easier for Argentinian farmers to sell their soybeans to China while American farmers are getting screwed. It is indisputable. President Trump is propping up a guy who is helping crush American soybean farmers.
Oh man, you guys are gonna love this one. You know, China used to be the #1 buyer of U.S. soybeans. Decades of trade, billions in revenue, rural communities built around that demand. And then this year, we all know, 0 purchases, not 1 fucking bushel. They ghosted us and went shopping in South America. Argentina was broke, their economy on life support. So Washington, led by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, decided, let's step in with a massive bailout. We're talking billions of U.S. taxpayer dollars. America first, right? The pitch? Keep Argentina stable. Keep them in our orbit. Keep global markets calm. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but the very next move that Argentina made, well, they dropped their export tariffs on soybeans. That instantly made their crops cheaper on the global market, and guess who fucking pounced? China. They bought up Argentina's beans by the fucking boatload, exactly when they should have been buying ours. Do you see where this is going? Now, this is where it gets juicy. This isn't just speculation. We saw it on Scott Bessent's own phone. A leaked text from Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins spelled it all out. We bailed out Argentina yesterday. They sold a bunch of soybeans to China. Soy prices are dropping, and this is going to give China more leverage on us. That's not some outsider ranting. That's a cabinet member admitting that the U.S. just financed its own fucking competition. This administration seems to have the worst luck with texting. Now, the results of all this? Now, that's our American farmers getting screwed twice. Our Trump voting Republican American farmers getting fucked over twice. The first stab, Trump saying, here's all these tariffs, China saying, fuck you, we're not going to buy any goddamn soybeans. And the second stab is their own government paying Argentina to undercut them. While Wisconsin farmers are up there staring at silos full of fucking unsold beans, Washington is out here writing checks to Argentina so they could steal the very market our farmers fucking built. It's betrayal. Betrayal dressed up as foreign policy. Sure sounds like America first to me. China played us, Argentina used us, and Washington paid for the fucking show. Farmers don't need more speeches about having their backs. They need a government that stops handing knives to their...
Republicans in farm country are utterly livid at the Trump administration for an, frankly, inscrutable, utterly outrageous bailout that it made to Argentina last week. But why are farmers angry? So here's why. Because of Trump's trade war with China.
So farmers in Argentina were given $20 billion, and then Argentina got rid of their export tax, so they sold their soybean to China. China doesn't need any U.S. farmer soybean. I have an even bigger double whammy. That money that Donald Trump is promising farmers is not going to happen, if ever, and if it does, it's going to be penny on the dollar. The Supreme Court is going to be hearing about the legal abuse or authority of Trump imposing tariffs. That's why he's telling them down the line, sometime soon, he's going to give them money. He can't spend that money because he might have to give it all back to U.S. importers. You know, your neighbors, your businesses, your small businesses here in the United States. We cannot possibly make up for what farmers are going to lose this year. We cannot possibly make up for what they're going to lose in 2026, 2027, or 2028 when he's still in office. There's no way we could possibly make up for that. So just know, we used to trade with China, no problem. You voted for this, you get what you voted for.
I want you to remember this, that Trump is bailing out Argentina, and they are going to sell the same stuff that we would have sold to China.
I want you guys to realize what's going on in this country. Donald Trump is working harder right now to bail out Argentina's government from collapsing and giving them $20 billion. $20 billion. That's what he's fixing to give them. Then keeping our government running. You understand that, folks? I want you to realize that this man is fixing to give Argentina $20 billion. But the Democrats are trying to make sure that people keep their health insurance that was stripped from the big, beautiful bill. But Donald don't give a shit about you folks and your health care, but he would rather give them billions of dollars to Argentina folks. Remember when you go vote in the midterms, it was the Democrat Party right now fighting for your health insurance to keep it. Okay? And it was the Republican Party led by Donald Trump trying to give $20 billion to Argentina. Remember that when you go and vote. And remember why your government shut down? It was Donald Trump sitting behind the Resolute desk, behind his 2028 hats, mocking the Democrats, not taking this moment serious. This guy is a buffoon, and he needs replaced and impeached immediately. Modered out.
Good morning. So it's Monday morning, and it's already started out to be a tough week. Anyway, I'm just wanted to weigh in a little bit because I'm trying to figure out, MAGA, if you have won. The sad part about all of this is that you're losing your jobs. The soybean farmers are just screwed. And not only on top of that, he started the trade war. He screwed y'all the first term with the trade war, and you all almost lost everything. Now you've lost everything, and now your boy gave $20 billion to Argentina so that Argentina can now sell soybeans, your soybeans that you need to sell to China. And he's bailing them out because his little friend did the same thing Trump is doing here and tanked their economy with that Doge type thing, tanked the economy, and now here we are. Also, from what I'm understanding, his friends are going to get billions and billions of dollars because they had invested in Argentina. They're going to lose their investments. Now, because that $20 billion bailout, Argentina's going to be helped, gave their export taxes down to zero to China. Soybean farmers, you're screwed. And the sad part about it is, after all of this, your hate is so strong, you would vote for him again.
Happy Wednesday morning, everybody. A little cloudy. A little cool. I read a thing yesterday. There was an op-ed. I can't remember where it was. It was written by a soybean farmer. It was a soybean farmer who voted for Donald Trump, I think for the third time in 2024. And he wrote an op-ed begging Donald Trump to stop his trade war with China. Because two things that China has done in response to Donald Trump's tariffs against them is to terminate all their contracts with American farmers for things like beef and soybeans, costing American farmers billions and billions and billions of dollars, which Donald Trump did China did during his first term as well, resulting in Donald Trump handing American farmers bailouts
in the amount of $26 billion during his first term because he put tariffs on China, and China said, screw you guys. So what did they do? They voted for him again in 2020 in overwhelming numbers. They voted for him again in 2024 in overwhelming numbers. Because what could possibly be worse than having a black lady with a funny laugh as president of the United States? So they kept voting for him, and he screwed them again. China has terminated soybean contracts and beef contracts. They've replaced those supplies with beef from Australia and soybeans from Brazil. That's going to devastate states like Nebraska, Indiana. And Donald Trump's going to have to bail them out again. So while they're talking about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and socialism, during Donald Trump's first term, American farmers were the recipients of socialism. Donald Trump destroyed their businesses and bailed them out with $26 billion of taxpayer handouts, which he's going to have to do again during his second term. And now they're writing op-eds begging him to stop his trade war with China. And I come from a farming family, man. My grandpa and his brother, when I was growing up, they grew soybeans, corn, and wheat north of Mansfield, Ohio. You voted for this, dude. You voted for this. Even if you said his second term was going to be just like his first term. His first term, he did this and it cost American taxpayers $26 billion in handouts to you guys. You guys who hate socialism. Amazing. I hope every single Trump voter gets every single thing they voted for. Have a good Wednesday.
Hi guys, welcome back once again to my YouTube channel. I'm B-Boy. Remember, if it was for the first time I come across my video, don't forget to like this video, subscribe and share. Okay guys, in this clip all the credits goes to the original creator of the video, and in today's clip is all about the mega soybeans farmers, of how they are really crying out for help, of how they are really losing their farms, of how they are really going bankrupt because a lot of their deals due to Trump tariff, Brazil it has taken over it, and we have all seen how these farmers, they are really crying out for bailout. They want government to bail them out, they want socialism, and a lot of people that really came out and they have really reacted to this, especially the Democrats. We all know the MAGA farmers, most of them, they and the Republicans and the ones who voted for this, and a lot of people that really came out in large number, and they're saying that the people who voted empathy out of America are begging for empathy. These people, one thing or one mistake they did is they voted against their own interests. That's the first thing they did. And another thing, they voted against, or they voted out of hatred and out of racism. And right now these people, they are just discovering that racism is so expensive, because if they could put this person, or if they could put Kamala Harris in office, maybe things could be better in America. But because of their hatred, because of their racism, they didn't want to vote for another person who had a different skin color. And black people, they have really came out in large number, and they are saying that these people, we really want them, but they didn't listen to us. We really want them about this new administration, but they didn't listen to us, and they really went ahead and they voted for this orange man. Right now they are seeing, or they are really facing a lot of problem. And funny thing is that there is no any black person or any black farmers who has really came out and they are still complain about how this harsh economy, or of how the things that have really changed. Black people, they have decided to remain silent, and this is the things that white people, they are really afraid of it, and white people, they are really furious because they are asking themselves a lot of questions. Yeah, at some point that other people who have really came out, especially MAGA supporters, they have really came out in large number and they're saying that they really did a very big mistake. First of all, these people, first when they voted for President Donald Trump, almost 1,000 farmers really lost their farms, and they have really went ahead in this 2024 and they voted for the same man again, meaning they decided to do the same mistake. And Trump is just doing what he promises people will do. He's doing his agenda. First of all, his first agenda during his campaign was to deport all illegal immigrants. All these people, or all these MAGA supporters, especially MAGA farmers, they went ahead and they voted for deportation of illegal immigrants. And these illegal immigrants were the same people who were harvesting crops in their field. These illegal immigrants were the same people who were really putting workforce in their field, who are really making sure that there's not any crop that will rot in their field. But right now, these people really went ahead and they voted for deportation of illegal immigrants. Right now, they lack workforce. They are losing their farms. They are going bankrupt. There's no anyone to help them in their farms, and they're just realizing their mistake and they're really coming out in large number. And this is the reason why these people, they want socialism. This is the reason why they want government to bail them out. This is the reason why soybean farmers, they're really crying out for help, for that the government can bail them out. But a lot of people, they are saying that they want empathy with them. Another thing is that some people, they really came out and they have really reacted to that, and they're saying that as a former farmer, I can tell you that 98% of American farmers are MAGA. Don't feel sorry for them because they will always vote Republican. This a former farmer telling a message to all the people in America. They're saying that all the farmers are MAGA farmers and they're the Republican. And if they can be given another chance, they will still vote for President Donald Trump for the fourth time, because this is the third time these people, they are really voting for President Donald Trump. And another person said that farmers voted against children getting fed. Have the life you voted for. They voted for all this. They voted for against their own interests. You know, a lot of black people really came out, and a lot of Democrats really came out and said that we voted so that at least we could stay in business, but you look at us and you saw us like we don't know what you are doing. We voted for you to stay in business, but for your own, you voted to stay out of business. You voted so that at least America can be greater or better once again, but you voted to face all these problems. So all the problem, they are really blaming the Democrats. And another person actually came out and said that Trump screwed them over in the first term, and these people said, yeah, give me more of that in 2024. Unbelievable. Another person really came out and said that if given the chance, the next time they will vote for the same way. And a lot of people, they are saying that no socialism. Remember, if single moms can't have help, neither can you all. This point, I really want a lot of people to really put them in mind. These farmers, they are really wanting socialism, and they really came out in large number and said that there is no socialism. Remember, if single moms can't have help, neither can you all. We do remember all that when there was other people who really came out that they were wanting socialism, but a lot of MAGA farmers really came out in large number and they're saying that there's no socialism for them. Just pull out your bootstrap. And these are the same people who want help from the government. These are the same people who are seeking empathy from the government. Another person actually came out and said that those conservative Republican farmers complain because a community country like China refuses to buy their crops. What a bunch of hypocritical losers. Yeah, these farmers are the same people who really voted for this. And another person came and said that my empathy is exclusively reserved for the people who voted for the very capable black woman. He is empathizing with those who voted for the black woman, but not for President Donald Trump. And guys, this video is just for educational purpose. We really hope things will be better in America, or America could be greater. Once again, we are just here to learn, and if it was the first time I come across my video, don't forget to like this video, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for your time. May God bless you wherever you are. One love.